everybody was kind of doing it. We call it in Dutch a chair dance. You change chairs.
Yeah. Musical chairs.
That's it. Yeah.
Gabrielle?
It's very distinctive. My parents both have like that.
I guess he was in his
So lighter than that.
He was
What?
really young. The way it
Right.
yeah, I'm not sure.
It's
but
light, right?
something like that, yeah.
Maybe you won't.
I listened
What?
to his YouTubes. I won the contest of all of his books on Facebook.
Yes.
I won that. That was
You
nice.
like your kid on too.
I just got it.
Yitzhak
Just-
Buxbaum bij mij. Yeah. Yeah. Because
We're
when I was
broadcasting.
working, there is any pictures for my
We're
work.
broadcasting.
Right now? You mean the whole world can hear us right now?
Because
Absolutely.
it was based on lecture. So I was too happy to make that.
What?
Yeah. It was gorgeous.
You know, you can't have flies in a holy space. Flies fly away from a holy space.
Do people tell you that you look alike?
Say that? Rarely, because we drink color. But occasionally people do say it. So, we're both curly.
It's not that, it's your faces.
Really?
Yeah, it's the light in your faces.
Oh, we look
Even
alike.
by some of your features.
Yeah, because yeah.
Your
That-
noses
know
are
what happens to
kinda
people?
similar.
Yeah. I keep on looking at her face and I start imitating her without even trying. You know?
I hear that.
Just need my jacket for a moment to the camera.
Did you want to sit here?
Whatever you want. No, you can sit here. Sit there.
Want me to move?
I like this chair.
Well, that's your file cabinet, it's over there. This is a good chair. That's nice.
You like being the directors?
I like the arms.
Okay, Shoshana, I'm gonna put a camera here. I'm gonna put a camera here, and I'm gonna make an aisle.
Sure.
And I want people as far back as they can go. And you're okay. Well, I don't know if you're okay there, because
Just put it down, just so we have it
I don't
here.
want you in the camera's eye, you know, your leg, in other
I want
words.
to switch this. I'm afraid of this chair.
And Harry, you sitting there?
Is that, I just want to be able to be in the back from where I can
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that all right?
Yep. Excuse me, whatever you want to do.
To be honest.
You can be sitting here.
Well,
Really?
Carol.
Yeah, it's kind of-
Thanks. That's what I did. Sorry. Okay, John, you sit here.
Every day, right? It's 7 times a day.
It's not always on. There's something
Is
else.
that your backpack? You want to move back a little more?
That's mine.
Okay, don't hit it, but go back a little more.
Snapping
Walker.
couch.
And, yeah,
Couch together.
I don't want to see that.
You had a fun time.
Yeah, it's worth it. Problem is about that. But here's not.
And how did
They didn't bring in certain ones.
It's fine. She did the job. She went into the job and they interviewed her and they're like, you don't have enough experience for the job. We want someone who really has experience managing people.
It's raining.
So we hope that, like, she did a really fine interview, but
Well, my husband just texted me
As soon as they
that
let
till
you know.
8:30 it will be rainy and then it will stop.
See, he's a researcher.
Science.
she's moving ahead. She's done the job yet. And she and I went to the bank and then the bank account.
And I oh, I can do that, tighten it up. Yes? Maybe I didn't open up one of the legs. Oh, it's a plug here. I was gonna stick it to the plug in the back. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you could. I don't think it changes anything. Is this even sitting here? Or if she sits, when she sits. Doesn't he probably looks like he Does everybody know everybody? You know Rabbi Carrie Carter? Yeah, we've got Rabbi Sarah
Myra's.
Horowitz? Wow.
So many rabbis in the room.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's that?
Yeah.
Among many others.
Yeah, coming back.
I wish I was a good storyteller.
I can't help
I'm gonna
it.
say I wish I was.
I wish I was a good storyteller. I'm a good storyteller in certain circumstances.
Natasha's psychotherapist. I don't know if that's technically right, but she's a healer in also other ways. She knows shamanic practices. She took something out of me that was fantastic. And I told her, this is happening. I didn't know that she did work. I didn't know it.
I didn't get
I didn't mean to ask her.
Unplugged.
Healing.
Oh, really?
She did something
Yeah.
that was fantastic.
I don't know, I think the door is closed. Should I knock on the door?
No, I don't think Yitzhak's here. Yitzhak? People can come in? David come in? Only me? What should I get?
Well, I was
Just
wondering if
check
my
that
wire
it's
got
plugged
unplugged.
Yeah, that's plugged in.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Yeah. Oh, you do want me to come in? Okay, just a second. Just sit there a second.
Cameras, why is there just one camera and everyone should share the video?
Okay.
You have to
Because
get
mine's
the
going
multiple
out over the
angles.
internet.
Oh, there's a live stream.
It's live stream.
Oh, nice. Live stream to Chicago.
Well, to anybody who's got the URL.
You gonna put it on YouTube?
I'm recording it also, so
Okay.
I'll be able to download it, so I'm told.
You won't be able to download it on as one file, will you?
Should be able
Oh,
You
really?
probably can't send, it's much too big to send.
You know what, there's,
Oh, it's too big to send, but
But
you
you
put
can
it
put
on
it on
YouTube.
YouTube.
I'd have to
YouTube.
you
put
can
it
put it
on
on
YouTube.
YouTube. There are also some other things you can
I
use.
don't think it's Dropbox. I don't know, I know that our graduation, we have it, but it's like 1.5 gig, so it's like too hard to like bring a hard drive. It's too big to do it.
When Yitzhak comes up, of course, we stand up. When he comes up.
Oh, no.
Yes, I'm not there. Okay, just want to get him water and me. Well,
I don't think he wants people to get started.
Where's John? I've left.
He was looking for a quarter after.
Oh.
He's very functional, so in 3.5 minutes, he will arrive.
You looked up which bus it was there,
I have to go back.
What treats do you get?
Almond level.
But not the other ones.
No, thank you.
You want to move a little bit?
It's a honey spread.
Add a little bit to
But,
the
what is John gonna sit on? Okay. And how big is your person? Pinchas?
They're probably not gonna be here.
Oh, okay.
One. That's good. Hello, viewer.
Hello.
I was wondering if it would tell me how many people are actually on here. Because you know, it was 4 o'clock there. So people were working from home yet.
We should be starting in a few minutes, probably. That's for you, viewer.
Is there someone on the other end of it?
There is, yeah, there's a little text that says one viewer.
One viewer, what does that mean?
There's actually somebody watching the broadcast.
Oh, hi! Can they see me?
Now they can.
Hi!
Well, no, it's just a little text up there
We
that
can't
tells
see
me.
them.
Yeah,
Well, I
he sees
can't
you.
see them, I'm looking for them.
No.
I can see it.
And who's watching take this?
I have no idea. I sent the link out to maybe 20 people.
Oh, really? You don't know? And it's all gonna be.
I watched a wedding that way.
Really?
I did it.
How was it?
It's
really
gratifying
fun
that
to
there's
do
at least
that.
one person.
And I
that
could
decided to
chat with the
watch.
other people who were watching it, who weren't there.
And you had to
Like,
fly
look at
it.
her dress, look how gorgeous she is, and where's her mother? Oh, there's her mother. It was really fun.
I'm told, this is like, probably not a nice thing to say right now. I told that, funeral homes are now live streaming funerals.
Yeah, the one in
Oh, yeah,
Baltimore
yeah.
does that, Saul Levinson's.
Yeah, I mean, it's
So-
great, because you can't always make it to
Can't always make it to a funeral.
In California, they get drive-through funeral homes.
Now, when it's your
Where they don't practice
beloved
and
who
stuff, and
passed,
a
you
week
don't,
later,
you can't
they
drive
drive
through
through
this
drive through and
later.
sign them.
So you can go back and listen to it. You can watch the whole thing after you're kind of not in shock one day.
Right.
It's much nicer. For mine, we only have photos, which is great. But it would be nice to have the whole ceremony.
You have a video of our wedding, but I don't know where it is.
We haven't really organized the photo results of our wedding at all.
We have like 800 photos.
How long ago were you married?
Year and a half.
Does John know we changed it to 5?
He said it would be here at 5:15.
She's right.
I think I have my
Right
phone
this
off.
very
It's in, no, it's in 40 seconds.
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh,
He's
to
a
us.
photo.
Because we changed it from 5:30 to 5.
Yeah, he said it would be here 5:15.
All right, I'll tell you the time we can get started.
What time is it?
5:15.
5:15, I'm looking at it.
Wow, I'm
That's
very
true.
impressed.
That's fabulous.
That's something, you can just rely on whatever time.
It's very good.
Isn't that great?
It's beautiful.
Does anybody have the Smicha document we studied in class?
I have it upstairs.
Yeah.
I'll get it.
Everybody doesn't have it here.
I might have it here.
Let's do both.
I probably wrote all of them on it.
Hello. Oh, thank you, thank you.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Here.
Trains more or less, like pretty much every time. And a Long Island Railroad distance to. One time, okay? Perfect.
We were marveling at how prompt you were.
Oh, okay, Varsha.
Had it already?
Had it, yeah, yeah, thank you very much.
Let's see.
Ashkenazi pronunciation of Hebrew and Israeli style. Personal? Yeah.
Maybe the start of pronunciation, there's Ashkenaz, so they don't do time. Yiddish is always fun.
What about at the synagogue? When you're
Mostly,
when you-
mostly it's repeated
You know, since I grew up with nothing in the family, although I'm Jewish, and some have Jewish education, but nothing much in the household. Not that big, a little bit of Indian camp. So I have to,
gathered here for a Smicha ceremony, which is joining 3 people into a lineage. So if the earlier members of the chain are not here, it doesn't work. So this lineage is back to Shlomo Kalabach, Zalman Schachter, Kavoni, David Nachman, Yishbitzer, David Yitzhak Buxbaum, Zusi Hanakol, Nachman Yevkotsk, Natalia Rapshitz, Joseph Lin, Rabbi of the Lubavitch Rabbi, Rabbi Shem Tov HaKodesh, and all the holy women whose names you don't know. All the holy women whose names you don't know. Sad. How sad. ourselves to all these holy people, especially the holy women, who have been forgotten. Our mothers who never called up to the Torah. Our grandmothers who never called up to the Torah. We were faithful to our God. So we have two lineages really. We have the spiritual lineage and the family lineage. Because our grandparents are here, our great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, back in holiness. Let's feel their presence. Think of 1 or 2 or 3 of these people in these different lineages. Be aware of their presence. Welcome them. Be a fool. Believe that it's possible. It isn't possible. The whole world isn't worth a dime anyway. What is Smicha? Smicha literally means leaning. It's a way to transmit power. When the priest would lean on the animal, would designate the animal as holy and fitting for a sacrifice. It also meant to transmit power to a person in a lineage. Our holy religion goes back many, many centuries, many, many thousands of years. An unbroken chain. Our ancestors and we ourselves left Egypt. We're an ancient people with an ancient wisdom. We're renowned for our intelligence. Once we were renowned for our faith. That's something to regain. And Judaism is certainly worthy of faith, not to believe it, everything literally in the intelligent way. For such an intelligent people, it would be very surprising if they had a stupid religion. Most of the time, Judaism is worth believing in, with a few exceptions. Like secondary place women, unscientific, unhistorical claims. But I'm telling you that you can believe in most of what our religion teaches, excluding those other items. But I don't have to tell you. Your heart knows it. And not only our ancestors here and our spiritual ancestors, but look at the books you're surrounded by. These books are radiating wisdom. They're radiating holiness. You open up one of these books, it shines out. In fact, one of the great rabbis of recent times, Rabbi, said that if you open up a book, doesn't shine with holiness, doesn't glow, don't bother reading it. That's why we kiss a book when we open it. We kiss it when we close it. And I hope that my books that I've written are worthy of being kissed. Not that I've written, they're written through me. So I couldn't find my notes like Addie. And so maybe God intends me to say something new. Because I'm only going to say what should be said. But it's not a sad time, it's really a happy time. Happy are we that we have this holy religion. The meaning of life. The meaning of life. Happy are we. I was saying earlier that so many of our Jewish peers are skeptical and don't believe. How sad. How sad. And what have we done that we merit believing? Because when you believe, you have a beacon of love and joy in your heart. I like to tell people that I'm trying to sell Judaism because I can say from the last 40 years, or 50 years, it's given me tremendous joy. Tremendous joy. And I hope you can say that. Because then people will be open to it. Because you testify in your own experience. Not that's written in the book. You know, it says in the Talmud, someone who doesn't know what they're given is a fool. Like, a child is foolish because you give a child is a diamond and you give it a shiny rock, throws it at the diamond and keeps the rock. Fools don't know what's given them. So, I hope, and I want to beg and plead, people who are getting Smicha today are not fools. And they know it's been given to them. Because this is not a joke. There's a lineage going back thousands of years. You've been connected to the Baal Shem Tov, to Moshe and Miriam. What an honor. It's an incredible honor. Incredible honor. Abraham Joshua Heschel said the task that was given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rachel, Rachel, and Leah, is now in our hands. Might make you worry, actually. But it's not as if there's some guy in Brooklyn with a beard and a black coat who's going to take care of it. It's us. We're the ones who have to take care of it. Because the truth is, we're really very close to the truth. People are confused, you know. You see, the more traditional people have an intact religion. And people look at it and you see it's intact and integral, and they think, well, you know, I just have this shredded rag. But that's not really where it's at. You know, King David, before he became king, would go out on raids with a band of military people. And one time he came back from a raid and bringing a lot of spoils, and he wanted to divide it equal portions between the men who went out on the raid and the men who guarded the camp, guarded the luggage, and they guarded the luggage. So the people who went out on the raid refused. They wanted more. They thought they risked more. But King David insisted, shaveh b'shaveh, equal portions. And the way I understand that metaphorically is that Judaism is dysfunctional, like all the traditional religions. It is not adapted to modernity fully. And there are people going out on raids, trying to put Humpty Dumpty together again. But when you got on a raid, you have to travel light. You can't carry the baggage. So half the religion gets thrown out the window. You can't do it. No time, no ability. For that reason, the more traditional people are maintaining, are kept blind in a way. And they're keeping the intact religion that was developed over thousands of years with beautiful spiritual hearts. They're keeping it intact. If it was up to the people going on raids, we'd lose half the religion. So the people who are guarding the camp and keeping these age-old customs and practices alive are doing something very important, even though they may be bigoted against some of us. But we, I'm saying we, maybe you're the traditional, I don't know. But the people who are going out in raids are respecting women, respecting Gentiles, and respecting all the other religions as equals. That's very important to God. It's not a minor thing. So the people who are going to raise are getting full credit, at least full credit. We need both segments of the Jewish people. But now we're ready to start coming together again. You know, I always said that a real religion can produce saints, can produce tzaddikim. I don't want to be too controversial, so skip that. Okay, let me not get distracted. Hashem, be present with us when we do this awesome ceremony. We're doing it for you. With people we love, happy to win. So I'm going to cheer up. Oh, look who's here. You're really challenging with the amicus, you know. No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I get there to loosen up, I'm hugging you. You're only the one who's going to handshake. Okay, so let's read. All we'll do is going to read the Smicha document, sort of, and then we'll give the Smicha. So Shlomo, when he gave me Smicha, spontaneously came up with a poem, a holy poem, and I, over the years, have tweaked it and made it my own parts, and also I've annotated it in the sense that I've been studying, and I did with you, what the meaning is of these things, because it's full of allusions to the Torah, the Midrash. So it's so beautiful, you know. David, can you read what Shlomo wrote in English? In Hebrew. The transliterate. Oh, here's the regular. Here's the Hebrew.
You want the Hebrew?
Yeah.
Bezrat Hashem, Magid Dvarav Yaakov. Ele hadvarim asher tedaber el bnei Yisrael. Bazeh anu somchim v'tomchim u'mechazkim Yedei Reb Yitzhak ben Meir Buxbaum Sheyichyeh Lihyot Mahzir al Haptachim Pitcheihem Mekuvanim Petach Habayit Sha'arei Halev Liban Shel Yisrael Lahachzir Otam Aveda Midat Da'at Elyon B'divrei Agada Shemoshchim Liban Shel Yisrael B'divrei hit'orerut Kumi uri kiva orech Yagid, Yeorer, Yachzir, עם ישראל בתשובה שלמה מתוך אהבה. כל תברכו ויזכה לראות בהרמת קרן ישראל מתוך שמחה.
Thanks, sir. Can you read the idiomatic translation in that page? The help of God in the middle, sorry.
With the help of God, speak his words to Jacob.
No, it says Piyamagit, doesn't it? Oh, you have
Oh, I have a different one, I'm sorry.
That's,
I don't have the other
You
one.
said it was yeah.
I have a literal translation.
Oh, when you try to read the animated.
With the help of God, be a Magid, a teacher of Torah and a teller of tales. Speak sacred words to the seed of Jacob. These are the words you shall speak to the children of Israel. With this we support, strengthen, and uphold the hands of Reb Yitzhak ben Meir Buxbaum to live a life of the Spirit, making the rounds, knocking on all doors, the doors facing each other, the door of the temple, the gates of the heart of Israel, to return those who are lost.
because they lack knowledge of the Most High.
Because they lack knowledge of the Most High, with stories that draw the heart of Israel and cause them to awaken. Arise, shine, for your light has come. Tell, tell, awaken, awaken. Return, return the people of Israel in complete repentance from love. So shall you bless and merit seeing the raising of the honor of Israel. Enjoy.
Thank you. So, if there's anything you want to comment before we continue? Let's see. Okay. So, the people who are being given Smicha today, our Holy Sister Erin Wafsi, Eden Wafsi. What's the name Wafsi come from?
It's in Midbar, Nachmi ben Vafsi,
Oh.
tribe of Naphtali, but I don't know if it's actually from there, but that's one place where it is.
So the tribe of Naphtali?
That's right, the lost tribe has been found.
So, our Holy Sister Eden Wafsi is the one who's going to do away with blunting their teeth. And she's here with a holy partner, Rabbi Carrie Carter. So that you came, Carrie. And don't be surprised you get called on to say something. And Holy Sister Basha. Never be abashed. Stand up, like we read from Shlomo yesterday. Speak proudly. And certainly about what you believe. Because I said, if you believe 2% of what the rabbi said, believe it 1,000%. And you'll get the reward and you'll shine in front of others. Believe what you believe. Believe it 1,000%. With Basha's holy partner, John, he's going to be a mag in the family, doesn't they'll talk about meetings, but it's only going to be good like you saw. You were thrilled, weren't you? She did great yesterday, didn't she? Holy brother Pinchas, who was looking so dignified, you know. I so love having an obsession with clothes. And I so much want the Jews to look good. I want the Jews to look good. I want them to look dignified. I get so bummed out when you see them at the Kotel, the Western Wall, with the little paper yarmulkes and cardboard yarmulkes. Check out, Lord. So goodness, you're very serious about this. No, I mean it's a wonderful thing. I've always admired your seriousness, which you apply yourself to your studies and your participation in this program. It's nice giving Smicha to a man, you know. Joking, it's true. A couple of years ago, I was talking with a young woman who indicated an interest in becoming a rabbi. I said, you look like a rabbi. We couldn't have said that, but it's true now, actually, right? So, Basha, you're, you know, the people in this program, you're all three of you so intelligent, so sincere. You know, I say that, I don't know if we match up with the Hindus, for example, in terms of producing high gurus. Probably don't. But as far as people, like the general, second, third tier people, like us, Judaism has so many wonderful people. You see this program, right? Wonderful people. Aren't you proud to be associated with everybody in this room? It's like it's wonderful. So, I'm proud of being part of this. And, so, okay, let's. I think we'll do it all together. Check 1, 2.
Starting with each other.
Okay, starting with each other.
Sorry.
Hug everybody.
Good everybody.
Sorry.
There is a connection.
Yeah, that's true.
I will do that. Yes, let's stay.
Because we hear about you. It's been so much fun to be with you.
Oh, it's just ready. Hey, Kendra, let's sit down and Eden, why don't you start? Say your first speech is a Madi.
One thing you taught us as a Maggid was never use notes. So I have my notes. My first act is to do something I'm not supposed to do.
I lost mine.
What?
I lost mine.
You lost
I
yours.
can't find it, but I used it if I could.
So nice. Thank you so much for being so good. I can't tell you how much it means to me. And Carol, thank you. My mother thanks you for trying to learn me to teach me to get my voice out there. No, you really helped me a lot. You spent a lot of time with me, so I really seriously want to thank you. Takasha, thank you for coming here all this way to be with me. Due to my lack of communication, at one point I thought I might not have a friend or family here to support me. Now I have Takasha, Carrie's here, so I'm very blessed and grateful, and I'm grateful to Yitzhak and Carol for trying to maneuver, so thank you so much. Carrie, thank you for moving things around to be with me. And for coming. I know you really worked hard to make sure you could be here, and I appreciate it. So originally I thought I didn't have time to take this class. And once I started taking it, I realized I couldn't not take this class. Also, I didn't even realize it was a program. I thought it was a class. I didn't have the books. but once I started, I couldn't stop. I loved it.
The teacher said that. The teacher strikes against that.
Was it? Yeah. So then I realized I couldn't possibly afford not to be here on so many levels, and I'm so grateful. And I also love that it's here in your home, in this beautiful small space, and I feel like it's such a holy space here, and all the learning and all the love and all the sharing, and this is really a very alive space, and it's not only with the books, but also all the interactions that are here. I just feel like it's such a perfect place to have this ceremony. And I really believe that a lot of important things happen in quiet places and in small places, under the radar a little bit. So I really, it works for me. I like it, and I feel like it's very meaningful, particularly because it's a little bit small and hidden. Also, I want to say it's just been so wonderful to be challenged, because I think as an adult, sometimes you might be the boss and everybody tells you you're always right, or you might be like a worker and everybody tells you you're always wrong. But to actually teach you how to do something better, that's a real gift as an adult, a huge gift if someone's trying to work with you and help you to improve. So to me, that's been a real pleasure. And also it's given me an appreciation for my daughter Noah, because kids go through this every day. They're always learning new things. And just to see how hard it is, and how scary and how exciting also to try things that you're not already good at. It's been thrilling, really. And it wakes, it's enlivening. I feel like it really has woken me up to just challenge myself. And thank God I have a very good Jewish education. I went to Jewish schools from when I was kindergarten. I went to Calvary Comeback Baptist Church or something, but from first grade I went to Jewish schools. So, I feel blessed to have a very strong Jewish education. And, I went to Orthodox schools, and it's ironic because in a lot of ways, the schools are very empowering to women because they teach you a ton. Even if there's no assumption that you're going to go on to be a rabbi, a teacher, anything. Even the basic knowledge that people have is very huge. So I feel like that was a gift for me. And the context is some, there are limitations at a certain point, and at certain points that you don't go beyond as a woman in that setting. But I'm grateful for that, and it's enabled me to then study and learn and do the things that I love. And then also at one point, when I started to feel the limitations of that and feel like that might be a little too constricted philosophically or in other ways, then I met Shlomo, which was a huge blessing, because then I felt like it was a new Torah for me, and really a revelation that it's all about people, because I always felt that. But to have that reinforced in a religious sense was just such a beautiful gift for me. And also to see how Shlomo empowered people, regardless of what they knew. It wasn't about what people knew, it was about what people who they were, and everybody had a voice there, just like here. So one of the things that is wonderful about you, Yitzhak, is you always say, what does it mean to you? Even though you have so much knowledge, you stop and really have drawn us out to get us deeper and deeper about the stories and the teachings, and that's really a quality that I've rarely seen in teachers. Usually they want to teach you, and they'll ask a perfunctory question, but it's perfunctory. So to actually be asked what something means to you in a way that's not perfunctory,
I know what perfunctory is.
like just check the box. It's perfunctory. So just to, it's really a huge gift to give people, and it's very, very powerful. Just that one sentence. Ultimately, I always tell people this class has reconnected me. This program has reconnected me with things that I loved, that I kind of didn't know how to stay connected to, because the way people imagined my life, in Orthodox circles, is that that a young woman grows up, finds a nice Jewish boy, and if he's a rabbi, even better, and and settles down. So, and I just I didn't quite fit into that, what they imagined the picture of my life would be. And ultimately, I met a nice person, a Jewish person, even a rabbi. But it was a nice Jewish girl instead of a nice Jewish boy, and also the assumption in the Orthodox world is it's a given that you'll marry someone Orthodox and you'll be Orthodox, and that also stopped being an assumption. So whether it's 2 out of 4, 3 out of 5, it didn't all line up, and because I knew it wouldn't line up, I didn't know what to do, and I really drew back to protect myself from being rejected. And I feel like just a lot of things shut down. So it wasn't a huge active effort to try to reconnect, but I think there was something in me that missed what I loved. Little by little, there's been things that have shown me that I can have it all. So, part of it was we had a huge commitment ceremony with hundreds of people there, and Jewish wedding, and rabbis, and a very Jewish, meaningful ceremony, and that was a wonderful. Really, that was something. And just being in our synagogue with people I respect and admire also has meant a lot to me. And finally, this program has really been a big turning point for me. religiously and also personally, because of trying to reconnect, like I'm saying, and because of trying to come out of my shell, for a better word. You know, and both of you have both, but you both, I really feel like both of you have helped me a lot, because with all the knowledge, without being able to present it, it's very frustrating. So for me, it's been about not so much sharing what I know, but learning how to share what I think, what I feel, and really just learning how to be who I am, and giving myself permission to do that. And it's a little bit of a process. So, so you know, I just want to say I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm so proud to be part of this program. And you know, I hope that I make you proud, and you proud, and all of you proud. And you know, I think today I was thinking about my grandmother. Her name was Hannah Rachel Rose, and my other grandmother, Bessie. I didn't know my grandfathers. And you know, I just also want to mention one person who I thought about. His name was Chaim. They called him Chaim in America. Chaim came to America, my grandmother's brother, and he brought his two sisters. And I was trying to count the number of people who have come from those two women, and I got almost to 30. And so this man saved all these generations. And my heart goes out to him, though, because there was one sister named Tema, who my sister's named after, who he couldn't bring over. He just couldn't work fast enough to collect the money to bring them. And you know, and I just think, you know, I think his life was hard. I just wish I could talk to him and tell him I'm proud of him. So, I'm almost beginning to conclude, as Carrie says. I just want to say thank you, Yitzhak and Carol, for helping me to bring parts of my life together that I didn't know I could put together, parts that I loved that I kind of left behind. Thank you for teaching me how to be brave, how to open my mouth, how to roll on the floor, how to seek the joy of my own experience, and how to let myself know how important that is. And teaching me that there's such a thing as breathing. Who knew? I certainly didn't know that there was such a thing. Apparently it exists and it's important. So that I need a whole other two-year program just for that. So, and finally, let me talk about the stories. I feel like all of the stories are alive in this room. All of the characters of all the stories, all the little villages and towns, all the smells, all the weddings, and all the Shabbos tables. I feel like they're all here, and they come and they go, and they're just in the air and in the walls, and that's another reason why it's wonderful to have this ceremony here. And I want to say, these stories are not just for lessons. They're about life. They're about challenges and how to overcome those challenges and how to overcome adversity and how to be bigger people and better people, especially when we face challenges and when we have adversity. I want to say these stories are my friends. And so they encourage me, they inspire me, and they make me brave, and they help me take chances. So, I don't know if these stories are true, but I know that they're about what's real. So let's look at these stories and try to be like the characters in these stories. Try to be like the people in them. This is my blessing to myself and to you. Let's be holy beggars and have no shame in asking for what we need and seeking closeness to God and to each other. Let's be holy beggars and beg to be real with one another. Let's be holy thieves and steal time for Torah, for learning, for each other. Let's be holy thieves and steal hope and faith from the mouth of negativity and hopelessness. Let us be like the beautiful holy hunchback, always searching to do someone a favor. And friends, let us have holy chutzpah, to speak out, to speak up, to believe in ourselves, and to make a difference. And I just would like to say the blessing. Carrie taught me this. Not the blessing, but it's good to say the blessing.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Creator of the universe, who has given us life, given me life, upheld us, held me up, and brought us to this moment.
Amen.
Sister Carrie, don't sit down, come say a couple words. Not as long as Eden.
So it's an honor to be able to be here today. I'm very grateful to have been able to maneuver everything. Grateful to you to helping us so that I can be here. And only for you, Yitzhak, would I stand up and speak at this moment. And you know, one of the gifts to me is that often, as a rabbi in a family, you end up being the one that everyone invites to speak, right? All the time. I am so honored and so excited that now I can say, we have a Maggid in the family. I have to tell you, I've watched the last 2 years. I remember getting to hear you guys tell your stories last year, and I was actually very moved by many of them. But I have to say, this year, even more so. I feel like the growth over the past, even just what I've seen, has been tremendous. And especially watching Eden, it's really amazing to listen to you, discover, find your voice, and tell those stories. Because I have to say, you know, they teach rabbis to speak a lot, to say a lot of words, but the story is where it's at. I really believe that being able to tell a good story, to sing a niggun, right, is what can bring people to their hearts. I always taught the work in the head. I know how to do the head part, but it's only when we come into contact with stories, the stories of our ancestors, the stories of our own lives, that I feel like that we can really we touch people's souls and we bring them forward. And I'm really quite grateful, and quite honored to be in the presence of so many who can bring those stories forward so well. So thank you. My apologies to all of you for having to step out. Thank you. Take care.
Sarah, okay. So, papers.
No, you want me to come in?
Sure. You want me to switch?
Okay, do you want to?
Just sit here. Carol?
It's recording.
Yeah, that's smile.
What's your cheese?
Yeah, right. Well,
In 1998, a movie came out called The Mask of Zorro. And this was another retelling of the old Zorro legend. And it starred Anthony Hopkins as the older Zorro, the original, and Antonio Banderas as a character called whatever his character's name was, as the young man who was going to become Zorro and wear the mask of Zorro.
The disciple.
Yeah. And there's a scene in the movie. You're probably wondering how I'm going to get this down to the.
I'm hoping you speak about this movie.
There's a scene in this movie.
He said we were hoping you speak about this.
Yeah. There's a scene where the older Zorro encounters the young man who's in a cantina drunk, who sees a soldier that killed his brother and gets up and starts to draw his sword. He's going to kill the soldier, who is cold, stone sober, not drunk. And the older Zorro stops him. And because he stops him, they get into a fight. The older Zorro with his cane versus the younger man with his sword, which predictably the younger man loses. And as he's laying on the ground, nursing his pain, the older man looks down at him and says, you know, there's an old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I found out that in some research on the internet that this is actually a Buddhist saying. At least the sources I saw attributed it to a Buddhist saying. And it is a wisdom saying, and it is so true. I'll tell you how true it is. 2.5 years ago, I was doing something that I usually do from time to time. I was surfing the internet. And when I surf the internet, I surf for Jewish sites. And I follow links to Jewish sites. And what I'm looking for are sites that I can maybe learn something from, or sites that I can use as reference. And it just so happens that this particular time, for some reason, because I've been doing this for many years, I landed on Yitzhak's website. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. All these stories. I looked at some of the stories I'd already seen. Some were new to me. And then over in the corner on the side, my geek training program. I wonder what this is all about. So I looked at the descriptions. And I thought, oh, there's a little form to fill out. Okay, well, I'll fill the form out. Let's see, you know, I'm looking for ways that I can share what I feel about Judaism with other people. This might be another way. So I fill the form out, and I kind of forget about it until a short time later the phone rings. It's a New York number. And it's Yitzhak on the phone. And we had a nice half-hour or so conversation. I actually thought I knew him a little bit because I talked about Tu B'Shvat from your book, A Person Is Like a Tree. And I taught in the temple about Tu B'Shvat and the mystical overtones and everything, the Tu B'Shvat Seder. And I found out that what I knew about you at that point was your name on the book. So we had this nice conversation, and Yitzhak accepted me into the program. And over the summer, I read some reading that Yitzhak recommended, and then we started the program. And it was something different from what I sort of anticipated, but it was very interesting. The telling of the stories is only half of it. The telling of the stories is one thing, but the material other than the stories, doing Torah talks, doing inspirational talks, developing those, the various things that we've studied, the Midrash, and Yaakov, the Hasidic sources, all of that was very interesting and very worthwhile. It was a little beyond what I'd anticipated. And over the phone, it was such an interesting thing to do over the phone with some very interesting classmates over the 2 years. some of whom are actually here. And that was one thing. And then there was this thing called an intensive, whatever that meant. Come to New York, and for 3 days we studied together in person. Oh, okay, that's cool. What do you mean you have to get up in front of people in public and tell a story? Yeah, right. That was a little scary to begin with. Thank God the first time you come, you don't have to do that. You're not obligated. At least I got to see what it was like before I had to get up and think I'm going to make a fool of myself. So, and that's another aspect of the program which is so important, is to have that face-to-face. And it's just been such an exciting 2 years. And I really have mixed emotions about this, which is at the same time a completion and a start. So now that I've been given Smicha as a Magid, I'm going to get a little piece of paper even that says so. I have to try and figure out what I'm going to do with it now. This is like kind of when you graduate from college and you have a philosophy degree, and everybody says, now what are you going to do with it? You know, so I have to now figure out how I'm going to take what I've learned and bring it to the community that I live in. Because there's nobody in the Chicago area that does exactly what we taught here. There's people that are Magids, I'll put that in quotes, but they're basically storytellers. They're not into the older tradition as we are here. So I have to figure out how I'm going to go about all of that. And what the class has given me, more than anything else, is confidence. The confidence that I can actually go and do that. That I can get out there in front of people and not make a fool of myself. You know, so it's not a bad thing. And then I started thinking about having to give this little speech. And you'd be surprised what went through my mind. My bar mitzvah. And my son's bar mitzvah. And it started to feel like, this is kind of like a bar mitzvah speech. So like all good bar mitzvah speeches, you have to get to toward the end and you have to do a bunch of thank yous. So I'm going to do the thank yous for my bar mitzvah speech. And the first people I want to thank are my classmates. Both the current classmates and previous classmates, and classmates I didn't have but are actually still classmates. You learn from your teachers, but you learn even more from your classmates. Our teachers teach us, and we in turn teach each other. If not formally, by our example, and by our questions, and by the answers to the questions. And that's been so much a part of what we've done over the past 2 years. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. Carol. What can I say about Carol? Okay? Yeah, basically. Yeah. Your wonderful approach to the storytelling, all the hands-on stuff, rolling on the floor, making all kinds of weird noises, you know, moving, taking breaths, trying to tell a story and getting stopped every third sentence, something or another. You have a lot of knowledge with your theatrical background about presentation and what might make good presentation. And that's what you try and teach us. Sometimes it works, sometimes it works not so well. But you have so much to give in that regard. And you have an unenviable task in the class. You're the nag. And I don't mean it's not a negative thing. It's not a negative thing. But when you go through and you start learning something new, you have to learn the basics. So you have to learn, stay on your breath. You have to learn breathe. I especially have to learn breathe because I sometimes forget to breathe. Literally forget to breathe. You have to learn not to be so literal. Sounds familiar? Over and over and over again. But that's what it takes to make those things habit. And only by making those things habit can you progress. So that you don't have to think about them, so now you can think about being involved in the story or being involved in the Devar Torah. And that's what you have to bring to us, the unenviable nagging about remember the basics. Remember you have to do that. No, you're not doing that. No, it's not right. Try it again this way. It's so important. I'm a brown belt in a martial arts system. In every class, no matter what level you are in the class, it starts out with 10 minutes working on basics. That's how important basics are to any skill. So thank you so much for all of your efforts and all of your kindness and for just being there.
You're very welcome.
Yitzhak, I'm at a loss for words. You imbue this program with your spirit, with your joy in the learning, with your immense knowledge, and with your desire to share that knowledge with us, and frankly with anybody else who cares to listen. This is your program. This is your concept. You live it and you breathe it. You embody it. You're not just teaching it. Like many of the Rebbes that you talk about so frequently, you show it to us by your example. Sometimes the questions aren't so easy to answer, but you're always there with another question, with another suggestion, with another book it would be good to read, with another story it would be good to know. There's just no way of conceiving how to thank you for all of the effort that you put in to teaching us the small amount that we now know. And that's one of the things we all have to remember. This may be a culmination, getting to Smicha, but it's only a beginning. I tell people, what I have learned so far has only gone to show me how much I don't know. And by your example, I hope to keep learning and keep looking at this stuff. And don't be surprised if you get emails from me wondering, what the heck do I do now?
Yeah.
You may very well get them.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being you, for being the person that you are, and being the spirit behind everything that we do. When we finish a book of Torah, it's traditional to say 3 words. And many times it's done as a call and response. The Chazan calls it out and the congregation responds. So I would like to invite Basha and Eden to join me in doing this. Okay? Chazak, chazak, v'ni chazek. Chazak, chazak, v'ni chazek.
Chazak, chazak, v'ni chazek.
May we be strong and may we draw strength from each other.
Amen.
Amen.
So good. What's up? Basha.
Those are two really tough acts to follow. I don't know. I was going to concentrate a little bit on what my journey is and how I got to today. How did I get to this very moment? I have only one sibling, a sister, and she's 13 months older than I am. And when we were small, my mother dressed us in identical outfits. I guess that was easier for her. And there's a picture of us. I'm about 2, she's 13 months older. We're wearing these little white puffy sleeve things that they wore in the 50s. And my sister is staring directly at the camera, and she has this gleeful smile on her face. And she is totally grounded and knows where to look and what's happening around her. I have this dreamy, far-off expression on my face. I'm somewhere else entirely. And it just tells me that even at that young age, I had my eye on something else, some other world that I was seeing. And my journey to this moment, as I've mentioned before in other contexts, began over 60 years ago, and began in my grandmother's lap. On Saturdays after shul, she would come to our house, and she'd put her hat on the dining room table, and she would bring down the big picture book of Bible stories and settle into an armchair. I would sit in her lap. I was a baby. My sister sat next to her in the same chair, and her fancy clothes rustled, those fancy materials, stiff materials rustled, and she smelled like perfume and face powder. And she read us stories about Noah's Ark and Tower of Babel and Joseph and his beautiful coat and treacherous brothers. And I loved the stories, and I couldn't hear them often enough. And I loved the stories she told me about her mother and father, and about how her mother would go to the grocer around Rosh Hashanah and find out who the poor families were. And she would buy groceries and have them sent to those houses so those people would have a nice dinner on Rosh Hashanah. She'd send them a fat goose or something like that. But more than the stories, I was drinking in my grandmother and her faith. My grandmother was so serene. All the other adults in my life were in a hurry. They had to get somewhere fast, they had to do something, they had to finish something. My grandmother operated on eternal time. She was calm, she was deliberate, she understood her place in the world, and she lived in the presence of God all day, every day. She knew that God was in her life and was this benevolent force guiding her life and working for her benefit, for the good. And I'm sure that I believed the same thing because she believed it so strongly. And it grounded her. It gave her life meaning, and it gave her a purpose and a knowledge of what her role was in this world. Well, of course I grew up, and I began to be old enough to read to myself, and I could read the newspapers, and I could understand what was on television. And the news was the civil rights movement, which my parents explained to me by saying, down south, black children aren't allowed to go to school with white children. They thought it was a monstrous injustice, and so did I. And then other things that you could read in the paper. You could read about the assassination of President Kennedy, or see it nonstop on television for 3 days. Then there's the Vietnam War. And by that time, I was in college, and God seemed pretty irrelevant to me. I looked around the kind of world we lived in, And I did not believe that there could be any benevolent force guiding it. I saw huge injustices. I saw terrible things happening. I saw a war that I believed every fiber of my being was wrong. And no matter how loud I yelled, it didn't stop. And I took a course on ancient Near Eastern religion, in which there were many theories of how the Bible was written, but none of them involved coming from the mouth of God to the hand of Moshe. So I gave up on my faith. And I did a lot of things and knocked around for about a decade or so, but I didn't set foot in a shul. And then I found myself back in Philadelphia. I had dropped out of graduate school. It is what I thought my destiny in life would be, and it just wasn't right for me. I didn't want the academic life. I moved back to Philadelphia. All of my high school friends were gone. I didn't know a soul. I was lonely and I was at a real crossroads. So I took the advice that my grandmother had offered many years ago, and I joined a synagogue so I could meet some people my own age. But while I was there, I listened a little bit. Just a little bit to what they were saying. And it was a Reconstruction synagogue, and it slowly drew me back in. And then, of all things, I meet John, and we get married, and Susie comes along, and we're living in a Philadelphia suburb and decide to join a shul there so that she can have a Jewish education. And we joined, I think just after Rosh Hashanah, and it was Sukkot, I think. And on the intermediate Saturday of Sukkot, the rabbi gave a sermon, and he talked about this is the time of the year when we remember the dead. We say Yizkor, and it's autumn. It's the time of the changing of seasons, and we think about those we've lost. And that night, I had a dream, and it was a big meadow thronged with people, and in the distance I saw my grandmother, who by now was gone, was dead. And I look at her, and she's holding out her arms to me, like you would hold your arms to a small child. And I went running up to her, and she hugged me. She wrapped me in her arms. And when I woke up, I felt that she was welcoming me back to some sort of belief. And so that was a beginning to me. And I think of how every year we finish the Torah and we start right over again. And so I felt that joining the synagogue and getting involved was starting right over again. Maybe going back to my origin, but with fresh eyes, with a new look at it. And I got involved, and I had some interesting spiritual experiences. And then one summer, I was going to facilitate a get-together of a group I belonged to, and I thought, I'll do something on storytelling. So I go to the internet and start looking around for some inspiration, and what I find is Yitzhak's website. And I read about the Magi program, and I thought, that's terrific. That's exactly what I feel like I need. I've done some writing, I had tried to write some stories. What did I really learn how to tell a story? And so I asked around if anybody I knew who was really involved Jewishly and knew anything about the program or about Yitzhak. And I had a friend who had taken a class with Yitzhak at Ilat Haim, and she said, sign up. This is the real deal. And she was right. She was absolutely right. And now, I can't believe that 2 years has gone by so quickly, and I've finished the class. But I feel like it's the beginning. We come to the end of the scroll, and we're going to re-roll it and start again. And I feel very lucky to have this have been a stage in my journey, and to have met so many amazing people, and to have been helped by Carol and Yitzhak, and to have learned so much from them. and I'm really grateful. I hope we all keep in touch. I'm thankful for all I've learned from all of you, and you inspire me to do more, to learn more, to talk more, to tell more stories. Thank you.
Do your 2 minutes.
Do my 2 minutes? My approach to this program with Barbara is a little bit from a different point of view. I've known Barbara for quite a while, and what I've known about her is that she's very good with letters. For instance, where I used to work, people would come to me with documents that they want to send out. I'd say, look, John, look it over. Because I had a reputation for writing well. And I sort of laugh inside myself, hey, wait a minute, this is really just not right. She's the one to do this, and she's the one that I've always gone to. And I think that her ability with words has been recognized, she's been published, that type of thing. So when I heard about Barbara and the storytelling, I thought, gee, and also, she when she was in college, she was involved in the theater. So I thought, oh my gosh, what a wonderful thing for her. For her, because of who she is. But being that, I mean, that was my approach to her, and watching her over these 2 years and watching her sort of, out of this program, I realized that she has grown from a spiritual point of view also. And so from my point of view, I mean, this is wonderful for her. It's wonderful for all of us. And I'm thrilled that you've done this.
Who else wants to speak? Anybody? It's an open mic. You came up all this way. I have to say something. You drove all this way. 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
I drove all this way because I think I said this during my Smicha, that I think my taproot, my holiest purpose is to speak out. And it's been difficult for me to get at what is it really that wants to be spoken. And Yitzhak, you're so intuitive. And during my 2 years with you and Carol, your intuition as a healer and as a mystic has been the most opening for me. Yes, you've taught me skills. I've had the amazing opportunity to study Judaic texts. I continue at my synagogue and on my own. But for me, it's been a healing journey. And I think that's why I came into life, is to do a soul healing journey. And since I left the program, since I finished in February, the deepest blocks to my being able to speak out, my deepest truth, have finally come to my awareness. And so it's like when I was in the program, one layer of opinion, one after another, started peeling away. And right now, I'm at the core of probably my signature personal soul work of my life. And so I wanted to come because I know how important it is that somebody's here for you. I didn't ask anyone to come for me, but that's kind of been my way, that I've been an adventurer on my own. But you asked, and I thought this is going to be a great opportunity to be with all of you, to be in this healing environment, to witness your smicha, to share my love with everybody and my appreciation for you and Carol. And I'm just, the hours in the car are like nothing. They're just a blip of nothing compared to the spiritual, beautiful experience here.
We're so big to hear it. Say a word, 1 minute.
Well, First of all, I want to say a very good mazel tov to all the Musmachim here in Magid now. And one of the reasons why I wanted to be here is tell something about my own Smicha. I felt such a great sense of awe when I got Smicha, because I thought, now at least the chain is made longer. The chain that started on Har Sinai, all the tradition that's given over, if people don't pass it on and they don't teach next generations, it will be all lost. And I myself come from a very assimilated family. If I would have been assimilated too, I mean, nobody would have been very surprised. But a spintel Yiddish, that little piece of Yiddishkeit that every Jew has in them, it somehow came out. And here I sit as a Maggid, and I think it is such an important job that Yitzhak did, that he said, well, we Jews are spread out in all kind of nooks and crannies. We come from here, we come from there, we have different opinions. We also have infights. I mean, Jews are famous for that. I'm going to set up a program in which we create, or better said, give on a generation of Magidim who cherish the tradition as, in my opinion, it should be, with respect, with love, like what the Baal Shem Tov did, love all Jews. And I'm so happy that I'm part of this tradition, and I'm so happy that you are part of this tradition and you will give this on, that I just can say, Baruch Hashem, that we are all here. You made a bruche, that is a wonderful thing, and a big thank you to Yitzhak.
Say something. Say something.
Keep breathing. Get on the floor every day, roll around, breathe, call me up. We'll do it together. We'll review. Basha tells me I better record it and post it.
Put it on the website.
And a quarter every time you want to play it. Something like what can I say? Maggid Yitzhak Buxbaum really ought to have hundreds of people that are studying with him at any one time. So he's the real deal. I think we're going to put that on the head of the website. And maybe there will be, and maybe there won't be. But this has been a very, very deep and poignant journey for me. And every time people graduate, like, I can't even stand it. And in the time that I'm with you, I feel drawn to be friends, but I stay a little bit away from them because I have to also teach. But now I don't have to. But you can call me up and we can do sessions, but now we can be friends. And so, many blessings. And this is not, as Pinchas says, not the end thing. It's really like now you begin to do the work. And I hope we begin to do it together also. And maybe we'll find a way that Yitzhak can teach the Musmachim and keep us going and take us to the... Because he's, you know, sometimes I hear Yitzhak speak with somebody we might call a peer of his, and I'm like, oh my goodness, all we're getting is like a taste of this guy. We don't know what he knows. Yitzhak will, I know Yitzhak about 14 years and he'll mention something I have no idea about it. Do you know what I'm saying? So his volumes of material that he can't even share because there's no audience for it. And so we'll come around, you know. You'll share more of it.
Another thing.
Can I say
Holy
one more
couple.
thing?
Yeah, holy couple. I want you to say one or 2 minutes each. Yeah,
Carol really just said something important. Like, you started the Quest program, and so I've been in that, and has Basha, and we meet every Thursday for 2 hours, and it's supposed to be just, you know, focused on spiritual practices, but
these last 8 weeks, we've studied the Hasidic discourses, and so there is more of Yitzhak, and we'd love for more people to come into that program. It's a lot of it is very spontaneous, and it's great. So.
Thank you.
So we are going on.
David, give me 2 cents. You can't be all the time having a chance to speak.
Yeah.
And you can keep studying. I still study with my own Hafruza. So when we were in class, we keep it up. Every Tuesday morning. Now it's Wednesday morning because Tuesday I'm here.
David.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say, I'll say something about Eden in a minute. Basha, I want to just say the main, I don't know, the big thing I feel like I'm taking from each one of you. Basha, I think the biggest teaching that I received from you was within the past couple of days, because, or no, maybe it was a few weeks ago, because I'm being completely honest. You told the story on the phone, you told the Stein Talis, and I was following in the book, and I was thinking to myself, oh, she's reading from the book, but she's not telling us. I was like, she thinks she's putting one over on us.
She couldn't have put it over on me.
and I talked to you about it. I think nobody else was on the phone. I don't know. I talked to you about it. You said no. I really memorized it. And I was like, oh my god, people memorize their stories? It was a huge revelation to me. and I think it really helped me a lot in the story that I told last night. So you work seriously, and I'm really taking that into my heart. Pinchas, the biggest thing I'm taking from the teaching I'm taking from you is something to do with our being landsmen, and we spent Pesach together, and you came to my parents' house, and I feel that our paths as a Magid and a future Magid are entwined in that way, and I have great respect for you as a Reformed Jew from Chicago. And did I say something wrong?
Not yet.
Because I also have roots of Reformed Judaism from Chicago, and sometimes I don't know what they mean, but I feel like I get to know it better when I know you. And Eden, from the first moment that I started working with you, I had a sense that you were right up against maybe a Bechira point. You were right up against something that was very meaningful and also difficult for you, and you were working at it. And every time it came up, it took all of your energy to. It just took all of your energy, and also you're such a busy life. You know, you have this full-time job and you have a little kid, and I identify very much with what you said about. Once you started the program, you're like, I can't afford to stop. You know, first you think I can't afford to start, and then you think, well, I can't afford to stop. And so I think you've demonstrated a lot of bravery, and I think a lot of faith. And I take that into
Sarah.
I'll just say it's been an honor to be here for these past few days. Really, I didn't know what to expect, and it was such an honor to hear everyone tell their stories and be so present. And I'm grateful for a little more of a chance. A little more of a chance to understand what David is doing on the phone on Tuesday night. Since usually I'm like knocking on the door like, do you want me to bring you in some food? It's really running late, you know. But it's just really been a lovely 2 days, and I'm honored to have been a part of it. Awesome.
The Chasal Siddur Pesach, the event is concluded successfully. Yes.
Can everybody take a So we have a little something for Yitzhak and Carol from all four of us. Since I live in New York, I was entrusted with getting this gift. and I checked the spelling of Basha's name, and I know how to spell my name, and Pinchas's name, and David's name, and Yitzchak's name, and I had the engraver hold this item to tell him I was going to call him after I checked with Basha. Naturally, I did not realize that your name has an E. So I'm so sorry. It's very heartfelt.
That's all right.
But that little aspect is.
You owe me an E.
I can try to fix it, but this is a very heartfelt gift from all of us. Thank you. I don't know if anybody else wants to
Thank you.
say anything.
Do you want to say something about what it is and then what
So-
it symbolizes or anything
yeah.
like that? Well, it's in the theater, right?
Yeah, this is, I can.
Yeah, sure.
I should hold it?
This little plate.
In this little plate.
Okay.
Come into the picture.
So, this is actually a honey dish.
Oh, honey dish.
Just a little spoon.
Fabulous.
And on the top it says, for Yitzhak and Carol, and there's a comma that maybe I can have them turn into an E, with love from your students.
Oh, wonderful.
And if you turn it over,
Sweet. Literally.
you have our names there.
Oh, that's terrific. That's great. What about the honey? You always feed people honey.
Yeah, actually, I forgot about the honey. I always have honey at the ordination ceremony.
Well, we brought the honey.
You brought that? No, and you, yeah.
Get a little honey, yeah. This is honey there, let's have a honey.
Oh, this is
Okay,
perfect.
see if I can. All right. Let's see if we have some honey.
Yeah.
So Yitzhak and Carol, thank you. Thank you for adding endless sweetness to our lives. David, Eden, Pinchas, and Basha.
I don't want you guys to end, you know. Get in. Have to get away. We don't want to lose you either.
Can we start over?
Yeah,
We need to do things
what's that
more
movie
than
called?
once.
Hello again?
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, what's the movie that they showed in Lifeworks that they live the same day over and over?
Groundhog
Groundhog
Day.
I know you know about that. Okay. One can use the bona fide spoon, and then the other will have to use this
Let's go, finger.
finger and the bona fide spoon. Oh, you're gonna put it on their lips? No, you have to give it to your students. So maybe you should use the spoon.
No, okay.
No? You have to put it in his mouth. That's her, she's gonna get that spoon.
I don't want to get on her.
You're not gonna get, he's a little wobbly.
Your sweetness eternally.
Thank you.
You're allowed to use it once, it has to be
This is
recorded.
really small.
You can use it once.
Business. Business.
I think my family will attest to the fact that knowing you and Carol has made me much sweeter.
That's
than
your
I was when I
spoon.
started out.
Okay, and eating. Very good.
Wait, Yitzhak, did you get honey last?
I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So we've successfully concluded this wonderful event, and Happy New Year.
Bye.
Good job, estudiante.
So thank
Not
you all
grandma.
for giving me the courage to sing out of tune as loudly as I possibly can.
It's delightful. It's only out of tune to Western ears.